I'm Rob Thomas, and welcome to another episode of Club and Resort Talks. Today's episode is sponsored by Southern Pride. For food service in clubs and resorts, success is often attributed to investing in the right employees and equipment. Having dependable equipment that can consistently deliver high-quality product is paramount for running a kitchen. The dependability of a Southern Pride smoker offers peace of mind and decades of profitability. Learn more at southernpride.com. Now that we got that taken care of, let me introduce you to Phil Karen, our senior editor. Phil, how's it going?
I'm doing really well, Rob. How are you?
Terrific. No complaints.
Good.
Hey, what's going on in the
Yeah.
news?
A lot of stuff this week. Some interesting stories going on. Um, one, there's a course, Brookline, Massachusetts, called the Robert T. Lynch Municipal Golf Course. Just thought this story was interesting because they were looking at ways to get residents interested in activities that are happening out at their facility when we're outside of golf season, as we are here in the north right now. Although it's been a mild winter, but we've kind of gotten used to that cycle. They had a campaign going where they're sending direct mail to residents who live near the golf course property, just to find out to let them know about events that are going on, but also to find out what else they might be interested in seeing the course do. I thought this part was interesting that they had said if Brookline, Massachusetts gets enough snow this winter, they would convert the golf course into a cross-country ski facility with about 7 kilometers of groomed trails along the hills of the property, with ski and snowshoe rentals available for that. Thought that was interesting, and I was just, as I was telling you a moment ago before we came on, it brought back a memory for me. Huron Hills Golf Course, I'll give them a plug. They're city-owned golf course up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I grew up. Huron Hills probably, if I'm remembering right, it's probably the second golf course I ever played in my life after the one with the club my family belonged to. But in the wintertime, if there was snow on the ground, they would be open for cross-country skiing. And they did, if I'm remembering right, they definitely rented skis there. Also sledding. Indeed, hills, it's quite a literal name there. There are plenty of great hills out there for sled riding for kids. And it would be open for that. And I had memories of going cross-country skiing with my family and also sled riding with friends out there. And I just think it's a great idea, the Robert Lynch course. It would be interesting to hear from other places, and particularly in our world with clubs, whether they look at using their golf courses in an off season for these kinds of activities. Just be another way to bring more people in and bring in some revenue during the off season of golf. So just thought it was an interesting story.
Yeah, it's terrific. My home course, too, growing up, Maple Ridge Golf Course in Ashtabula, Ohio, had similar. When I first started playing, they were open for cross-country skiing, but they were family-owned, so they were always there working in the clubhouse, so it made sense. I suppose if you're open, whether the restaurant's open or whatever, and you have people staffed, it's a fantastic idea to keep revenue coming in. If you have to open up specifically for cross-country skiing and you don't get a lot of business, then you're paying somebody else's salary, and it can be pricey, but certainly something worth exploring. Sledding,
Right.
cross-country skiing, whatever.
And actually, that you brought up something when you mentioned the dining that I forgot to mention on that story. They indeed do have a restaurant there, Hemlock Grill, that's open, as I understand it, Wednesday through Sunday right now. So they do have that component's already there as well. So I think perhaps the idea is that, again, if they already have staff there working at the restaurant and that's open and available for people, perhaps you can have some other activity happening. Because I agree, it would probably be difficult, especially a municipal course like that, to only have an activity that, let's be honest, relies on a certain kind of weather to occur. And we haven't really seen much of that snow this year anyway. So that would be tough. But to have it in conjunction with an eatery should help that out a bit.
What else is going on?
Also, to mention a couple projects I was saying, well, let's see, one club that's starting a project, another club that has completed one recently. We've talked about them a lot here at Club and Resort Business, the club at Old Cypress in Naples, Florida. They're going to have a big clubhouse renovation project starting in spring of next year in 2025. Plan at this point is to have it conclude in January of 2026. Their current 34,000 square foot clubhouse will have an additional 10,000 square feet of indoor and outdoor space. They're going to have a 2,500 square foot covered bar and dining area. Also, 2,000 square foot kitchen to support casual and fine dining options as well. Clubhouse's second floor is going to have a large expansion of its covered terrace and sun deck. Um, I thought this last part was interesting too. They're also going to add a golf simulator, and they mentioned a movie theater experience, which is kind of a new thing. I haven't seen uh, clubs offer that very much. And the simulator is interesting too. I guess a lot of times, again, we're in an off season here. I think about a golf simulator in terms of being in a cold weather place where you can't play golf in the wintertime. But obviously, the simulator experience can be offered anywhere. And down there, I'm sure there's times of year where it's too hot to play golf very much. And having the simulator there, I think, would be an added experience for members and guests. And it looks like a great project happening down there in Naples.
Yeah, as far as the movie theater experience, I know I have a simulator right above me, actually, here in the golf room, and I can watch TV through that. So I can imagine it's something that could be, maybe kind of a part of the daycare. You got a kids club going on there. Maybe it's raining outside. Go into the golf room and into the simulator room, pop in a Disney movie and let the kids have at it for an hour and a half, give them some juice boxes and a couple cookies and they're happy, right? I mean, it's good thing
Mm-hmm.
to have.
Absolutely. It kind of touches back on the family friendly component of clubs, and which we had talked about during our webinar the other day as well. So yeah, nice to see that. It's an exciting project for them, and I'm sure that's going to be something that members and guests are going to enjoy for years to come. Um, Looking around here, as I was mentioning, project finished. Cobblestone Creek Country Club in Victor, New York, recently finished enhancements to the golf course. They also upgraded their clubhouse, and they've added a pickleball facility. The golf course, again, I've noticed the theme of fewer bunkers on golf courses, and that's actually something they did there. Cobblestone's head golf professional Neil Reedy said that they reduced about 25% of the bunkers and then rebuilt the remaining ones. A lot of the rebuilt bunkers have raised floors, and the greenside bunkers were kind of repositioned to be closer to the edge of greens. So I thought that was interesting. And they also mentioned a notable change on the eighth hole. They reduced the forced carry penalty area from 60 yards to less than 10 yards. Um, Ultimately, too, he said, and this was an interesting thing, kind of balancing between having a golf course that's good for skilled players and one that's playable for more casual golfers. He said even with these changes, the course rating, which measures the challenge for a scratch golfer, has stayed consistent. But the slope rating, which measures the challenge for a bogey golfer, was reduced by 2 strokes or more from both the men's and women's tee. So again, it's showing how you're kind of balancing between having something challenging for the skilled players, the top level players, and something more playable for, I guess, your kind of casual and weekend golfers. So the other thing was clubhouse upgrade. They made investments in new patio, doors, windows, infrastructure, the whole thing. Just trying to kind of elevate the ambiance of the clubhouse for the members and guests. And they've added, we talked about this a lot the other day in the webinar, they added a pickleball facility just to kind of diversify the recreational offerings out there. So exciting stuff to see. Changes in the golf course, which are similar to ones we've seen in other places, adding a state-of-the-art pickleball facility, because as we know, there's a lot of interest in that as well. So a lot of good stuff happening there at Cobblestone.
Well, hey, yeah, you mentioned the webinar. I want to tell people right now, if you're watching this, go to the resources, pull down, hit webinars, and you can watch it on demand. And while you're watching on demand, you can still ask questions. Even though it's already been recorded, it's already up there. The questions will come to us. And if we don't have them, you and we will ask our experts, which we had, I guess, 5 experts, lending their expertise with the trends that we're looking for in 2024 and beyond. So very good. And that Victor, New York course, Cobblestone, we're going to get out there at some point this year, some point in 2024, and do a feature on them. It's not too far from us, a couple hours or so. So maybe get out there, record some videos, take some pictures. They don't have a lot of the weather's kind of crummy as it is right now. But when the weather starts turning, they're going to get a lot more pictures for us, and we'll see what we can share those with you, but also get out there and ourselves and experience it.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds like they've done a lot of great improvements out there, and I think the members and guests will enjoy it. Um, the other thing I was going to mention real quick too was we at Club and Resort Business just finished our Model Clubs issue, the print edition of it. We wrapped up last week, and we have started that program this year where we are recognizing a set of clubs that we consider model clubs, ones that we think other clubs should try to emulate their best practices. We got the 5 categories: pro shops, patios, rackets, membership and marketing, and clubhouses. 14 different clubs were selected, and we're going to be spending kind of the rest of this year to uh, get more specific about what those best practices are and feature them throughout the year, through the print editions, online, through uh, podcasts, webinars, you name it. We're going to have all kinds of things like that throughout the year. So it's really looking forward to it. We've gotten things off to a great start and should be great the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's exciting. We have all of them laid out for you, bit by bit in the issue, but also on the website, clubresortbusiness.com. We have the first ones up right now is the pro shops, and we have some pictures. Atlanta Athletic Club, University of Texas Golf Club, and the Landings in Savannah, Georgia, are all featured as our first 3 model clubs. But there's gonna be a lot more. There's a lot more going on out there, as we know in the news. Every single day, we're seeing more and more renovations, more and more stuff clubs are doing to really accommodate their members and guests. So it's a really exciting initiative we got going on there.
It is. I'm excited about it. I like what we're doing with it. It's be a chance to feature these clubs maybe in a slightly different way than we have in the past too, from what I can tell. And I like that. I think it's always good to try some new things and see where that takes us.
Yeah, let's keep telling their stories. And
Absolutely.
speaking of telling stories, we got, following our little intro here, I got Jake Gordon, the CEO and co-founder of Noteefy. It's a website based service for clubs that it fills missing tee time. So often, as Jake will tell you in our interview, somebody will call up and they'll have a reservation. If they cancel their Saturday tee time, then on, like, say, Monday, it can get refilled. But if they cancel it on Thursday or Friday, so often that tee time goes unfulfilled, and just as a loss to clubs. And I think it's like $50,000. You can be spread out over the course of a month of all these tee times that go unfilled. A person who can just sign up for this and say, I want to play this golf course Saturday or Sunday between 8 and 10 a.m. Even though it's booked, if that tee time opens up, 8-minute, 10-minute, 12-minute increments, if a tee time opens up in there, they'll get notification. And one click, boom, I'm in. So it's something that's easy for the golfer. It benefits the golf course. So much good stuff right now, and they're looking to expand. Maybe getting it to dinner reservations, getting it to racket time, spa, whatever. If there's stuff that's going on, Jake and his team are looking to expand. Right now, they're concentrating on golf. They're laser focused on golf, but that's what the interview is, and it was really entertaining, very informative. So hopefully, stick around and watch it. It's coming up right next. Phil, take care, stay well, and have a great day.
You too, Rob.
All right, we're back, and I have a question for you. Do you want to drive more revenue with less effort? Well, I'd like to introduce you to our guest, Jake Gordon, CEO and co-founder of Noteefy. Jake, welcome to the podcast.
Rob, thanks for having me, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much for being here. First off, KemperSports, Landscapes Golf Management, big courses, Streamsong, Sand Valley, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They are partnering with Noteefy, and I basically have 3 questions to ask you. How can clubs drive incremental revenue? How can they decrease unfilled cancellations? And how can they improve customer service? If you'd like, let's start with the first one, driving incremental revenue. How can Noteefy help clubs do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the questions. So really, when I think about who we are and why we exist, I always anchor on two problems, right? The first being actually for the golfer, right? And this is back to kind of my initial founding story with Dathan and I. It's hard to get tee times at great courses, straight up. With the way that golf has experienced, massive demand, if I'm looking to play golf at one of those properties you mentioned as a public golfer, or even the municipal course down the street, if there's a good chance there's nothing available until 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And if I have to be back, by noon, there's a good chance that there's nothing available. And if I'm a golfer and I don't see the tee time I'm looking for, most of the time I'm out of luck. And that usually means go to another course or simply not play, which is just a frustrating experience. For the operator, believe it or not, about 20% of all tee times actually get canceled. So what that means is if I'm a golfer at Rob's golf course and I cancel my tee time on Wednesday for Saturday morning, there's a good chance you're going to refill that tee time naturally. But if I canceled my tee time on Friday afternoon for Saturday morning, which we find about 20% of all golfers do, now all of a sudden that inventory is at risk. You're now, as an operator, hoping and praying and that somebody refreshes or calls right when that inventory comes online. So, those are two big problems in the industry right now that actually is a symptom of demand. It's a good problem to have, but fortunately, we've built a solution to fix it. And so what Noteefy does is it integrates directly into the tee sheet and alerts your golfers when cancellations occur within their desired playing preferences. So what that means is I could be a golfer, and let's say I live near Streamsong or Chambers Bay or Sand Valley, or even, a $30 municipal course down the street. I can say as a golfer, hey, I don't see the tee time, but I want to be notified when it comes available between 8 and 10 a.m. And the second something opens up, I get a text, and then I could book directly with that course. And so in kind of those two problems, right, as the golfer, I just found my dream tee time. Now I'm playing at the course I want. And for the operator, they just filled a last minute cancellation that may have been perishable inventory otherwise.
That is terrific. So, I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio. I see that you have a number of courses around the Columbus area. If I just say, hey, Noteefy, let me know if there's a tee time at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Will you look at that Columbus area? I mean, can you look into that little crystal ball of yours and say, hey, here's a course. Click right here, and you're booked.
Yeah, it's a great question. So believe it or not, the golfer does have to go to the course specifically that they're looking for. They don't go to Noteefy necessarily to find the time. And that's kind of how we're different. We're not a consumer marketplace or aggregator that's connecting golfers to courses in their area. We are a B2B software company that helps operators, number one, fill those last minute cancellations with their own golfers. We don't want to take Rob and send him to the course down the street. What we want to do is we want to make sure that Rob can play at that course they're looking for. But you brought up a good point, which is if we have one multi-course operator in a single area with multiple properties, and they opt in to cross promoting, we actually do that. So we work with KemperSports in Columbus, and we have something called that they promote called the KemperSports Columbus Collective. And what that means is Rob can actually select 7 or 8 different courses in the area on Saturday between 8 and 10, and then get notified for any of them if they open up. So there is that kind of cross promotion crystal ball, as you said, but it has to be in lockstep with the operator because we do not want to take your customer and send them somewhere else.
That makes perfect sense, and that's fantastic for the golf courses. You had mentioned leaving up to $50,000 in revenue with these unfilled cancellations. I mean, that's a crazy amount of money, right?
Yeah.
How can clubs then contact you to say, hey, I'm sick of leaving these tee times wide open? What's the best way for clubs to get a hold of Jake?
Yeah, Absolutely. Anybody could reach out on our website and just request a demo. You can find me on LinkedIn, or you can shoot me an email, jake@noteefy.app, Noteefy, which is kind of a funny name. But I'll just respond real quick to that comment, right? What's amazing is we look at the data and have found up to that 50,000 is inside 48 hours. That's not even the total amount that is the cost of cancellations. That's the amount of revenue many courses experience within 2 days of a tee time. And we're tracking that and can show the operator that, that 50,000 has actually been rebooked and 100% of that revenue is going to the operator instead of being perishable potentially. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we're fortunate to work with some of those great operators you mentioned.
That $50,000 is real money. I mean, that's the price of an assistant superintendent. That's
Yeah.
taking the golf course. That's I mean, so much can be done with that 50 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, wherever you're at. I can't imagine a golf course not wanting to kind of like take that off of the books and add that into the to the till.
Absolutely.
Looking down the road, can you see not only what the industry is looking like, because we're in a boom right now, fantastic, and we're kind of maybe on the downturn of the COVID boom, but we're still up above what we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago when things were sliding. Where do you see not only the industry in 3 years, 5 years, but where do you see Noteefy down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I could just give my own perspective on the first one, which is where the industry is going. Obviously, Noteefy is a response. We exist because of the bull market of golf. If there wasn't challenges getting on the course, you probably wouldn't need a waitlist or automation technology. So we definitely are grateful that there is. With that said, in my peer group, a lot of friends of mine who are young and have families, everybody I know is excited about golf. Everybody I know. It is cool. And, Greg Nathan talked about it in his NGF kind of State of the Union, which is the perception of golf on social media has never been stronger. You've got almost the general public, when they think golf, they now think cool. And because of that, and what I see in the next generation is more youth signing up to play because of the coolness on social media, because of the influencers getting into the game than ever before. And so I am bullish on golf. I believe that it will actually be a long-term strength to continue to grow. And so with that said, I'm confident that hopefully courses will continue to stay full, especially financially healthy as well, making sure they're using the right technology. In terms of where we're going, obviously right now we're focused on daily fee and public and resort golf, right? So many of our customers are either municipal, daily fee, or resort properties, but we would like to enter the private course domain in the near future. Obviously, members at busy private courses are also struggling to get on sometimes. So that's a problem we'd want to solve. Maybe the business case is a little bit less about the top line and a little bit more about the member experience and efficiency. And then next, we are also interested in other aspects of the resort, right? You named several great resorts we work with. We have 25 of the top 100 U.S. resorts as customers, and they deal with other forms of cancellation as well. They deal with the spa, they deal with the restaurants, they deal with lodging cancellations. And so our goal is to continue to look into other ways that we can help operators delight customers and make more incremental revenue.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that up. So down the road, maybe hey, I reserved a court, racquetball, squash, paddle, whatever. That's something that maybe Noteefy can help out with, huh? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I had a operator who runs dozens of massive resorts say to us, "Yeah, green grass golf. That's interesting, but do you know how much revenue we leave on the table from last minute cabana cancellations?" Which just kind of caught our attention. We never think about it. They're like, "Yeah, it's $800 a day at a high end resort to get a cabana," and those get canceled and unfilled every day. So it kind of just piqued our interest. We're excited about where that could go. We are laser focused on golf right now. We have 200 properties using our technology. We're really proud of that. We want to continue to just improve this product and not get too spread thin with other use cases. But it's certainly top of mind, and we want to grow with our customers and continue to solve the problems they care about.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm happy to be part of the journey. Jake, thank you very much for joining us. And real quick, what's the easiest way for clubs to get a hold of? What's the website, basically?
Yeah, well, we've got a little bit of a cringy name, so you have to forgive us. Noteefy, but spelled with the T in there, Noteefy.app. So you could find me there, find me on LinkedIn, or I'm sure, reach out to Rob and you could put us in touch. But I appreciate the time, my friend.
Hey, cringe is okay. Cringe is in right now. I watch TikTok. I know what's going on.
If that's the case, then I'm definitely going to be cool.
All right. Thank you, Jake. Have a great day.